So the Americans are back once again, devising their schemes for peace in Gaza. Donald Trump has sent his son-in-law Jared Kushner to Israel to twist Israel's arm into yet another peace deal. But of course, Jared Kushner has spoken to Hamas first and assured Hamas that don't worry, they have Israel under control. Welcome back to Israel First. We are breaking down all the stories and some other stories as they relate to Israel, obviously. So let's just jump right in. We start with our friend Trey Yingst. Let's see. President Trump said today that Israel should, quote, not be striking in Gaza. Let's listen to the video first.
The meeting that is taking place as we speak in Jerusalem between Jared Kushner and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said the Israelis should not be striking in Gaza because he says Hamas has agreed to lay down their weapons after that meeting yesterday in Egypt between senior Hamas leadership and Jared Kushner, along with the American mediators on the ground. And so
the Americans have sat down with their allies Hamas, and Hamas has agreed. Don't worry, we're going to put our weapons down. Now, we mentioned it here, and no one else will mention it, by the way. So, again, that's why you tune into Israel First. Let's say Hamas gets rid of their weapons. They, quote unquote, get rid of their weapons. So what? They can't get more weapons? Of course they can. They'll smuggle them through Egypt like they got them through Egypt in the first place. So that's complete nonsense. But the Americans sat down first with Hamas. Notice, not with the Gazan people. Hamas, what does that mean? That means that Hamas are the representatives of the Gazan people, exactly as it was on October 6th. So the Americans have completely legitimized Hamas. They're sitting down, talking with them, and effectively telling them, don't worry, we will get the Israelis in line. Everything we've seen before. America's Israel's ally? Certainly doesn't look like it. Let's take another look at what else we have here. Now, this speaks volumes. Hamas spokesman Hazem Qassem, in a message posted to his Telegram account and shared on behalf of Hamas, quote, Hamas welcomes the statement of President Trump in which he called on Israel to stop its attacks in the Gaza Strip. What else do you need to see? Hamas praises Donald Trump's attitude towards Israel. You know what? Maybe I should just end the show right here. Maybe that's all everyone needs to see. Because truth be told, I could not make the case against Donald Trump and the Americans more than this statement right here. These statements are a confirmation of President Trump's commitment to a ceasefire path. Right. Israel ceases fire, Hamas rebuilds, and comes to kill more Jewish people in the future. We call on President Trump to pressure the Israeli government to comply. That's it. That's the whole story. Now, a lot of pro-Trump people will tell me, no, don't believe them. It's lies. Guys, there's no more room for obfuscations. We see what the story is. Hamas sees what the story is. Here we go. Hamas demands Board of Peace compel Israel. They demand that Israel be compelled. That, I think, perfectly sums up Israel's relationship with the United States over the past several decades. Following high-level talks in Egypt with U.S. envoy Jared Kushner, Hamas demands the Board of Peace compel Israel. Do people still not see what's going on here? That America and Hamas and the Arabs are all working in concert to compel Israel, or I would say to extort Israel, to pressure Israel. Isn't that what this all is? In the wake of talks in Egypt with U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy, oh yeah, he's special, all right, came right off the special bus, It's going to compel Israel. The second phase, oh boy, I can't wait to see what that looks like. Kushner's Cairo session. All of our enemies sitting down together, including the Americans. Let's see. Oh, of course, and we had British Prime Minister Tiny Tony Blair. Very nice. Nice. All of Israel's worst enemies all sitting down together. How beautiful. Let's see. Oh, Qatari diplomat, Egyptian's intelligence director, a high-ranking official from Turkey. Everybody's there. Everybody's at the table. I guess when God comes to smite all of our enemies, it'll be very clear who they are. So I guess this is good. We get it all on the record. Kushner's slated to travel to Israel on Monday for a sit-down. And we know what that looks like, don't we? Let's see. To translate established promises into practical actions on the ground. Like I said, extortion against Israel. That's what it is. Secession of military strikes. Sure, why should Israel kill its enemies? How much that angers the United States. Israel killing its enemies? Goy vey. The Americans can sit there with a crumbling US dollar. I don't care what all the propagandists say, a wide open southern border, which it is. Despite the propaganda from Fox News, we all know the border's wide open. We all know that America is flooded with illegal migrants everywhere you look. But none of that concerns Donald Trump. None of it. The non-Jews complain, our government is obsessed with Israel. And those of us in Israel are saying, yes, stop being obsessed with Israel. But they can't help it. They just can't help it. It's why I've been very vocal about saying how I pine for the days of Joseph R. Biden, how great that was. Oh well. Joe, we miss you. If you're Joe Biden, if you're watching the show, know that we miss you. Best wishes to Joe Biden. Okay, let's see. Tzvi Yechezkeli slams Kushner's meeting with Hamas officials. Oh, let me just pull this screen over a little bit. A slap in Israel's face. True. Middle East analyst harshly criticizes Jared Kushner's meeting with senior Hamas officials in Egypt. The very occurrence of this meeting is a victory for Hamas, legitimizing and normalizing the group. Now, allow me to push back somewhat on this statement, even though ultimately he's right. It did not start with this meeting of Jared Kushner in 2026. The U.S. sat down and normalized Hamas a long time ago. Let's even forget about before October 7th, which they did. But even since October 7th, the U.S. has been quote unquote negotiating and discussing with Hamas this entire time. And Mr. Yechezkeli should also note, Jared Kushner's not out there making unilateral decisions. Donald Trump is the one calling the shots. And the United States government, with all the other entities that includes, the State Department, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, all of these people. So let's not be so quick to just throw this on dumb Jared. On, I don't know, I can't think of a clean nickname right now for our friend Jared Kushner, so I'm not going to say it, but we can't blame everything on this special envoy, this very special boy. We can't blame everything on him. He's not the one calling the shots. And as I've said, Tzvi Yechezkeli, all the rest, they can't name the American question. They can't name the American problem. They can't name it. They refuse. Well, what do they say? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Now, let's see what's actually going on in Gaza, because we have the diplomats, of course. They have their priorities, and the soldiers on the ground have their priorities. Gaza lookouts warn of October 7th echoes as Hamas tests IDF response. Remember, after October 7th, we sat here, everyone, and said it was so terrible that IDF lookouts were ignored before October 7th. Guess what? We are right back to where we started. IDF lookouts warn Hamas terrorists are approaching Gaza's yellow line daily and say troops face delays obtaining authorization to open fire. This is where we are. Many people on the right have blamed IDF generals. They didn't wake up Netanyahu. No one told Netanyahu what was going on. That's what everyone says. It's not his fault. October 7th wasn't his fault. Guess what? This is his fault. These are reports coming from soldiers on the ground, and Benjamin Netanyahu is doing nothing about it. Is he going to say the same thing? Are his surrogates going to also say, we know nothing. We know nothing. That's what Netanyahu is going to say. But again, we're focused on what Jared Kushner has to say and what the Americans have to say. IDF lookouts serving in 2 different sectors in the Gaza envelope have been warning in recent days that they have been noticing suspicious individuals and Hamas terrorists approaching the yellow line. According to the lookouts, the terrorists constitute a threat, but the forces on the ground do not receive authorization to eliminate them. Then why are soldiers there? Authorization? Speaking to Channel 12, the soldiers claim that Hamas is taking advantage of the situation to test each time how the IDF reacts to its terrorist actions. This is exactly how we got October 7th. Same exact thing. Same exact thing. And this is where we are now. One of the lookouts described a feeling that reminds her of the period leading up to the October 7th massacre. I feel like October 6th, just like what we said. And again, we sit here and we say things like, IDF manpower shortage. Why do we need more soldiers if you're going to ignore the lookouts that are right on the border? Does Eyal Zamir want to weigh in on this? Or does the only thing he care about drafting Haredi individuals for his army and Mashiach patches? It seems like that's all he cares about. The chief of staff is completely missing. These things must come from the highest echelon. Why? Why? What is going on here? Obtaining authorization to open fire must come from the highest echelon. This is how you run an army? This is how an army is run? This looks like a circus. I mean, we have a huge problem. Listen, let me zoom out for just 1 second. There is endless talk in Israel, endless talk about manpower shortages. I just heard, God only knows, how old could this guy be? Guy looks like he's 90 years old. Yitzhak Brick, I believe that's his first name, Yitzhak Brick. This guy gets up, he's speaking for 20 straight minutes. We don't have more soldiers, we need more soldiers. We don't need more soldiers. We do not have a manpower problem. We have a management problem. To kill terrorists, we need to get Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone? What's going on here? We have Defense Minister Israel Last Katz, who's spending his time campaigning for Likud primaries right now. That's what he's busy doing. And we're talking about peace in Gaza. That's unbelievable. Great. Does it look like we're ready for peace now? If ever? What a joke. Well, let's watch this video. It basically sums up more or less what we're looking at. Oh, let me pull the screen down for a second. Sorry about that. Okay, we got the subtitles in here and everything. Very nice. Let's rewind this here.
אתמול במהדורה המרכזית הלל ביטון רוזן חושף את ההזיה הבאה, ותגידו לי, אם אתם אמיתיים,
מספר מחבלי חמאס חצו לשטח הצהוב לאחר שזוהו על ידי תצפיות צה"ל, גנבו ציוד הנדסי ושבו על עקבותיהם לשטח האדום מבלי שנפתחה לעברם אש.
So they're breaking into Israeli territory and stealing engineering equipment. Board of Peace. My God. Being sold to us by a quote-unquote right-wing government. A right-wing government that, according to everyone, we must run out there and vote for. No thank you.
זאת ועוד, הלוחמים בשטח מעידים כי בזמן אמת הם זיהו את המחבלים בעת מעשה, אך הפיקוד הבכיר סירב לאשר לחסל אותם. בשבועיים האחרונים, מאז ההכרזה על הפסקת האש לקראת מימוש מזכר ההבנות של 15 הנקודות, יש עלייה משמעותית. האירוע החמור הזה מעיד על גודל המחדל בשבועיים האחרונים. מאז ההוראה המפורשת של הדרג המדיני הבכיר לעצור הפעלת אש ברצועה, מלבד סכנת חיים ברורה ומיידית.
אתם מבינים?
And why is this? It's very clear. Because the Americans demand it. That's why.
מחבלי חמאס חודרים בלילה לשטח הצהוב, שטח בשליטת ישראל, גונבים ציוד, חוזרים בחזרה לעזה ללא פגע, כי מישהו בדרג הצבאי מחליט לא לפעול על פי הוראות.
Okay, well, let's see, because she says someone in the senior command said that we can't shoot. No.
חיילים מבקשים רשות לחסל, בשיא האירוע גם לא לדווח לדרג המדיני בזמן אמת. כן, זו אחלה.
Wait a second. She's saying they're not reporting to the political leadership. That's what she just said, right? Let's see, one second.
כי מישהו בדרג הצבאי מחליט לא לפעול על פי הוראות. חיילים מבקשים רשות לחסל, בשיא האירוע גם לא לדווח לדרג המדיני בזמן אמת.
They're not reporting to the leadership. Look, listen, sweetie, I'm sorry, okay? If we know about this, the Prime Minister knows about this, okay? She and all these people need to stop running cover for an Israel-last government that knows damn well what's going on. But what did I say before? Right? When it came to October 7th, they said the Prime Minister doesn't know nothing. He knows nothing. That's what they told us. And now they're setting the groundwork for the same damn thing. No one knows. No one knows. The Prime Minister doesn't know. Listen, look, as the kids would say, stop with the cap. Okay? Stop with the nonsense. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. The political leadership doesn't. No, but notice, she said they don't know in real time. I said, okay, real time, post time, fake time. They know. They know what's going on because we know what's going on. And now that they know what's going on, will we see a change? If we don't, that means that the political leadership agrees. So to these people, stop with the nonsense. Stop with the nonsense already. We don't want to hear it anymore. Now, this headline is basically what we've discussed, but still worth noting anyway. U.S. allies, I wonder who those U.S. allies are. I would imagine Egypt, Turkey, Qatar. No? U.S. allies question Trump's Middle East leverage after Netanyahu rejects Gaza plan. Now, this was almost a week ago. This is an old story, August 12th. Now, did Netanyahu still reject it? I hope so. I sure as hell hope so. I mean, I wish Netanyahu would tell Donald Trump, take your plan and stick it. But I don't see that happening, unfortunately. But U.S. allies are complaining that the U.S., they don't have enough leverage over Israel. They They want to squeeze Israel like this and wring us out until we have nothing left. Those are U.S. allies. U.S. allies. Got it. U.S. allies. Come on. What a joke. What a joke. Now, speaking of U.S. allies, let's take a look at what else is going on. Because Gaza is a mess. And of course, with the U.S. right in the middle of it. And we had this story from late last week that we didn't get a chance to cover, so we're going to do it now. The U.S. has condemned the siege of Palestinian homes by Israeli settlers in the West Bank. Cue the tiny violin.
Revenge.
Oh, revenge. Oh, good. We like revenge. Revenge. Where they have cut off water, electricity, and essential supplies to some residents. Oh dear God. No, the poor Palestinians. But don't worry. The Palestinians' greatest friend, Mike Huckabee, he's on the scene. Mike Huckabee, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, more like U.S. ambassador to Palestine. Could we do, you know what? I guess we're going to do that here for the first time. Okay? Mike Huckabee, U.S. ambassador to Palestine. That's his new title. Maybe I'll make a trolling account. What do you guys think? Comment below. You think that would be an interesting X account? Mike Huckabee, U.S. ambassador to Palestine. I think that could be funny. So we're gonna have to market test this, see what people what their response is. I think it could be pretty funny. Anyway, he called the settlers' actions, quote, an act of terror. So the Palestinians murder Jews, they're terrorists. The Jews harass Arabs, they're also terrorists. Mike Huckabee is equating Jews and Palestinians. Sounds like the friend of the Jews to me, absolutely. Oh, 100%, for sure. Adding American pressure that appears to have prompted Israeli forces to intervene. There it is, U.S. pressure once again. Mike Huckabee, U.S. ambassador to Palestine. So that's the story. It made the Americans were very upset, extremely upset. And here we have Mike Huckabee. Settlers are not the problem in Judea and Samaria. Unsettlers are. The boomer jokes. They're unsettlers. Oh, unsettlers. Oh, how clever. How clever. Must have the highest IQ in Arkansas. I don't know what that could be, but whatever. Very small minority who do great damage to Palestinian families. Goy vey. What are we going to do? Palestinian families. No. Real settlers like Yisrael Gantz. Oh, here we go. Real settlers. Governor of Judea and Samaria, condemn the actions of the few. Why is he a real settler? Because he kisses the ass of Christian devil Mike Huckabee. I'm sorry, but it's true. Mike Huckabee out there, let's be very frank right now. Mike Huckabee is out there right now in the proud tradition of his ancestors spreading blood libels against Jews. Or you maybe say blood libels about Jews? I don't know. I'm not that great grammatically, but either way, this is what his people have been doing for centuries. Listen, we're in August right now. It's a good thing it's not April. If it was around April, Mike Huckabee might be out there accusing unsettlers of taking Palestinian blood and making their matzah with it. Probably that's what he would be doing. Slanderer of Jewish people, blood libelist, ambassador to Palestine, Mike Huckabee. So That's what I have to say about Mike Huckabee. The guy is just vile. He's vile. I would take, listen, I've said this a lot. I would take the open hostility of a Nick Fuentes before the smile in your face and, with the right arm, come into a hug, and with the left arm, a knife to stab in your back. That's Mike Huckabee. And a lot. Listen, I can't, paint an entire community. But there are a lot of people like Mike Huckabee, quote unquote, self-styled Christian Zionists. Again, I've seen some really great Christian Zionists, but there are a lot like Mike Huckabee. Bad stuff. Now, this is from Elchanan Gruner. If this house looks familiar to you, you're not mistaken. This is the house of the poor Arabs, the, quote, I care teddy bears from Kfar Ketzra that the media, IDF, and the left as a whole all rallied to defend. This is an incident from about a month ago in which stones were thrown at Jews from the roof of this house. So this house is being used to commit terror attacks against Jewish people. And Mike Huckabee is out there defending these people. That the Jews should sit there and take stones from Arab terrorists. That's what Mike Huckabee, ambassador to Palestine, demands. This guy is vile. Mike Huckabee is vile. An enemy of the Jewish people of the highest order. Let's take a look at this headline. This was from 4 days ago, right before the weekend. A mother and her children were attacked by Palestinians in a suspected lynch attempt. Terrorists attacked the family with bricks and rocks. Again, just like from this house, like we saw. That they stand on the house and they throw rocks on Jews. So maybe it was just another house. Another house Mike Huckabee is going to be shedding tears about. Terrorists attacked the family with bricks and rocks outside their Kiryat Arba neighborhood. When the local security chief rushed to their aid, he too was struck in the head with a stone before firing in the air and sending the attackers fleeing. There you go. Does Mike Huckabee give a shit? No, he doesn't. Big surprise, right? Now let's take a look at what's happening internally. Okay. A few days ago, it was reported that following the lawsuit filed against me, I guess this is from Alicia Yered, by the civil administration operating under Minister Smotrich regarding evacuation expenses that took place under the Bennett-Lapid government. Now at least 15 additional lawsuits are set to proceed against settlement activists whose homes were demolished. So we have a right-wing government, supposedly, continuing the anti-pioneering policies of Lapid and Bennett. They're continuing it in order to discourage Jewish settlement of the land of Israel. That's what we have going on right now. According to this policy, Gush Emunim people would have been required to pay hundreds of thousands of shekels for the 7 evacuations they underwent. So this is what our government is doing. Why should we support this? Why should we even support these people? Here's a statement from Defense Minister Israel Katz. Okay, quote, deterrent economic measures will be considered against anyone who carries out illegal or unregulated activity that cause significant expense to the security system. So they're pulling every lever they have to demoralize us and discourage us in order, now this is the important part, so don't miss this, in order that this land is clear for a Palestinian state. Simple as that. Simple as that. When the liar Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel Last Katz and Bezalel Smotrich and Ben Gvir go out there and tell us there won't be a Palestinian state. Bullshit. Liars. And we're going to see later on, the army is now retreating from Area C of Judea and Samaria, which is 60%. So that's a big territory. They're retreating. You know why? Because the hilltop youth have worn them out. Just like we wore out the British in 1948, we are wearing down the IDF in Area C. And so they're running out of options. They're going to try economic warfare. Guess what? It's not going to work. Because these guys, you know what they're going to do with your lawsuits? They're going to tear them into 1,000 pieces and throw them in the garbage. That's why. You're going to arrest them. You arrest them now anyway. But this kind of thuggish behavior is Israel last. Quite literally, this is Israel last. And this is the story. IDF changes course. Yeah. To an anti-Israel position. The IDF. The IDF and the state attorney's office. So again, this is not, this is just the courts. Not the courts. Not the courts. This is the IDF. Defense Minister is Likud Israel last Katz. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Can't blame anybody else. It's not the left, it's not the courts, it's not whatever. This is the IDF. It's not a rogue commander like Donna Verone on Channel 14. No one told the political leadership. No one told anybody. Again, like I said, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Now let's see. I thought there was something here interesting that I wanted to point out, but let's see if I could remember what that is. My memory's not what it used to be. Sorry, folks. But let's see. Or maybe it wasn't this article. Well, if it wasn't this article, I don't feel so bad. So let's see. No, maybe it wasn't this article. Okay. No, I think it was the next article. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. Now, remember, we did a story a while back about the Mashiach patch story, right? Go back and watch it if you didn't. It was a great video. Eyal Zamir lectured everybody about IDF ethics. We need ethics. Ethics are the most important thing. Okay, now, what's this? Tefillin cash stolen after Samaria outpost demolition. So we have the government going out there, demolishing quote-unquote illegal structures and stealing personal property. Credit cards, thousands of shekels. Yeah, ethics, huh? Nice ethics. Now, this is something that I took out of the story. I knew about this, but sometimes when you see things in print, they jump out at you. Let's just take a look at this, because maybe some of you don't know this. While residents are being kept away from the outpost, border police officers were at the scene alongside Arab contract workers employed on behalf of the civil administration. So now, who runs the civil administration? Who runs these activities? Netanyahu? Smotrich? Maybe not Ben-Gvir, I'm not entirely sure, but certainly Smotrich and Israel Katz. They hire Arabs to destroy Jewish settlements, and most likely these Arabs, their Arabs, are looting and stealing from Jewish residents in Judea and Samaria. Listen, you can't help but notice all of these things are painting a very ugly Israel last picture. And again, is anyone forcing them to hire Arab contractors? No. It's when you see things like this, you can't unsee them. You can't unknow them. So they want to draft Haredim so they can, what, hire Arabs on the back end? That's what they're doing with their money, the state? Not interested. I'll be honest. If the state wanted to demoralize its own population from serving in the army, things like this are far more dangerous than all of the Haredim on earth refusing to serve. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. Not a word from anybody. Arab contractors. Now, this is a very interesting story, and I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I did allude to this just a few minutes ago. Defense Minister Katz prepares plan to transfer civilian enforcement in the West Bank from the IDF to the Israeli police. Now, like I said, why is this important? It's important for a number of reasons. The main reason is because, think about this, listen. When the army sends soldiers to an area, soldiers are not traveling back and forth to work, right? They're staying at an army base. Police, generally speaking, they are going home every night. So if they're going to employ this method of the Israeli police, most likely it would mean that they are going to use Judea and Samaria residents to act as police officers, which is far better than soldiers being brought in from Tel Aviv or Herzliya or even Jerusalem, two areas that, frankly, they may just not care about. They may not care about settlement in Judea and Samaria, but odds are Judea and Samaria residents will. So this is certainly a good development for us, number one. And number two, and most importantly, it highlights what I said earlier. This means the IDF had no desire to leave. They didn't. They were forced out. The Hilltop Youth wore down the IDF, and now the IDF is looking for an exit. Good. This is the first time in history, in Israeli history, I believe, people can roll in with the comments if they think I'm wrong, that the IDF retreated not from the Arab enemy, but from Jews. That's good. That's good. The IDF doesn't have the will. We do. The people of this country do. Let the IDF get the hell out of the way and let the people restore sovereignty to the land of Israel. The IDF doesn't want to do it. They want to cut deals with Hamas and the Palestinian Authority and hire their Arab contractors. Do whatever you want. But we are here to stay. We are the sovereign. And this is a major victory. Now, does that mean everything's going to change and it's going to be just all, roses and rainbows? I don't think so. I still think that, again, this is a prediction. I don't know what will happen. I certainly hope I'm wrong. I still think that Ben Gvir's police will continue to harass Jews in Judea and Samaria. I could be wrong. And let me tell you this is Ben Gvir's moment to shine. So I really do hope that he embraces this opportunity to show us that he is truly an Israel first nationalist. We'll find out. But no matter what the result is, we are winning. This is good. This is a very good story. And let me just close with this. This was a very nice story, put a big smile on my face. We all remember Ron Beslavsky was one of the hostages taken to Gaza. And thankfully he made it. He had Itamar Ben-Gvir on his podcast. And let's just go into the quote. I thought it was terrific. I have a personal request and I'm really looking you straight in the eyes. Let's see. Honored Minister Beslavsky told Ben-Gvir while interviewing the minister on his personal podcast. Let's see. Let me be the one who hangs them. I don't want a rope, I want a button. With my own hands, I will execute every terrorist in the state of Israel. And Ben-Gvir responds, I will move heaven and earth to make that happen. Good. It's one of my greatest dreams to see you there. You know what? This is a healthy young man who, thank God, survived hell on earth in Gaza. This is the right attitude. We are not Mike Huckabee. We are not Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and all of those Christians over in the United States. We do not turn the other cheek over here. Good for Ram. Good for him. And good for us. You know, a great man once said, how good it is to be a good Jew. This is what a good Jew looks like. Healthy, proud, and firm enough in their beliefs to look and say, yes, I made it out of here, and I want to kill all of these Hamas terrorists that, God willing, will be convicted of the death penalty. I want to kill them with my own hand. Good on you. So that's a great story. That speaks to the general health of the Jewish people. A people that suffer a tragedy, but still know what the right thing is. So, two good stories here to end off. As I mentioned, we still have the America problem looming over our head. They can't help but side with our enemies at every opportunity, but with God's help, we will defeat the Americans, because that is what's required. In every generation, our enemies rise up against us, and God saves us from their hand. It was Pharaoh, it was the Germans, it was all of these wicked entities, and unfortunately, the Americans are hell-bent on being on that list. And sadly, if they don't repent, I'm afraid their end will be exactly the same.